Hello, my name is Joseph Addison Willie, and today I will be doing my presentation on biometrics. So just a little brief overview. I will be going through some background, some different types of biometrics, the applications in business, and the applications in security, and then a little conclusion. So, biometric information is the way of future for identification. Rather than relying on ID cards or passports, governments and businesses will be able to biometrically scan individuals to better identify the general population. Unlike licenses or other forms of IDs, biometric scanning cannot be duplicated or copied. Because of this, biometrics have an important role in security as protected information or access to critical business functions can be biometrically encrypted. You may be wondering what biometrics are. Well, here's the definition. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines biometrics as the measurement and analysis of unique physical or behavioral characteristics as fingerprint or voice patterns, especially as a means for verifying personal identity. This can be fingerprints, DNA testing, retina scanning, base heart rate, electrical activity, perspiration, and other unique physical or physiological characteristics that cannot be copied. They are distinctive and unique, and because of this, biometrics have many important government, business, and security implications. Some types of biometrics include fingerprints, iris scanning, facial recognition, and DNA testing. The FBI defines biometrics as the measurable biological, anatomical, or physiological or behavioral characteristics used for the identification of an individual. Fingerprints vary from person to person and do not change over time. Interestingly, even identical twins have different fingerprints, which make fingerprints an excellent and effective biometric marker used to identify fugitives or to create a database of the population by collecting a large amount of fingerprints. This is probably the most commonly used biometric marker and the most practical, as a single thumbprint can be used to identify a person. Iris scanning refers to the sophisticated camera technology used to capture the intricate detail found in the iris of individuals in order to authenticate their identity. As you have probably guessed, a person's retina is distinct, similar to the stripes of every tiger, and unique to every individual. A facial recognition system is a computerized algorithm used to automatically identify an individual based on a digital image of the person's face captured from an image or live video feed. Such systems can be used in real time to capture a person's face on video and have that facial image then compared to a stored image from a database to authenticate a person's true identity. As you can imagine, organizations like the FBI and CIA and other various government intelligence agencies can use this technology in a variety of ways. DNA testing is like a simple prick of the blood or swab of saliva that can be used in a DNA test to identify an individual. Companies like 23andMe and Ancestry DNA make money off such testing as they use saliva swabs from customers to identify the DNA and then research certain characteristics based on that genetic profile and ancestral heritage. DNA testing can also have huge applications in medicine, as cancer testing and treatments can be based off specific DNA genetic profiles. A fingerprint scanner works when the sensor picks up a set of characteristics like those shown in the picture. An algorithm converts the scanned information into a value, which then creates a reference or trial template. Consequently, no actual print is stored, only a numeric value representing the print. Some advantages of fingerprints are that they are time-tested and relatively cheap. Some disadvantages is that they can be easily forged and can be inconsistent based on environmental factors such as dirt or dust. For facial recognition, a laptop or other cameras capture an image of the person's of interest face. This image is converted into a reference template during the enrollment. It is fast, relatively inexpensive, and very difficult to forge. A computer system uses an algorithm to identify and measure critical nodal points on the face. The human face possesses about 80 nodal points. Some of these nodal points are distance between eyes, width of the nose, depth of the eye sockets, shape of the cheekbones, the length of the jawline. Advantages are that facial recognition is extremely difficult to forge and that it is relatively inexpensive. Also, the person being identified is often unaware that they are being identified, and that facial recognition is generally unknown to the user, while being performed on the user. This technique is extremely discreet. Some disadvantages are that forgery can be possible with latex masks. Lighting provides a barrier to accuracy, as necessary light is needed to correctly identify a face. For retina scanning, light enters the back of the eye and then reads specific retina patterns. An iris scan starts from the outer edge of the iris and records distinguishing features. The data is converted into a template for identity verification. The advantages of retina scanning is that it does not touch the scanner. The iris is an internal feature of the eye, making it difficult to forge. Disadvantages is that iris scanners are extremely expensive, costing between $2,000 and $3,000 per unit, and it is not reasonable to place an iris scanner at the desk of every employee to protect access to critical information. So some business and security applications is that it can strengthen access to controls, strengthen employee productivity, strengthen authentication, and regulations from the government and state. Obviously, the business applications are to protect access to critical functions at a business or important information. From a security standpoint, biometrics are used to authenticate users to restrict access based on identifying a non-qualified individual. From a healthcare standpoint, biometric encryption is being used to protect against HIPAA violations, which is the Health Information Portability and Protection Act. This act is aimed at keeping protected health information private. With more and more health information being sent online through email and electronic health record systems, hospitals are beginning to ramp up their security to prevent HIPAA violations. Some of this ramped up security involves using biometric encryptions into EHR systems, such as only allowing doctors and nurse fingerprints into electronic medical record systems. In conclusion, biometrics are used to identify individuals based on physical and physiological characteristics. They are the future of security, especially for FBI, CIA, and healthcare industries. They are much more secure than passwords, but with every system, they are vulnerable to forgery. Do you have any questions? And here are my references.